Happy New Year, everybody! I'm Tyler, and I'm here to let you know that Hostiles is no perfect movie. So, in Hostiles, a U.S. cavalry officer played by Christian Bale is ordered to escort a dying Cheyenne chief and his family back to their hometown in Montana, despite the fact that Bale is racially biased against Native Americans. And along the way, they're joined by a woman played by Rosamund Pike, who lost her entire family to a Comanche attack. And the rest of the movie is just the main characters coming to terms with their past and prejudices over the course of their journey. There's not much of a coherent story in this movie other than the fact that these characters are trying to go from one place to another, and there are a lot more slow burning scenes of characters sitting down with each other, expressing their feelings about things that have happened in the past, as opposed to most westerns where half the movie is the drama and the other half is the action. And if you go into this movie expecting it to have a lot of action just because it's a western, you're going to be disappointed. Because at its core, Hostiles is 100% a drama that happens to take place in the Old West. And that fact alone makes it feel distinct from recent westerns that have come out. Scott Cooper's direction feels refreshing due to how old-fashioned his style is. He makes each scene feel as if it moves at the same leisurely pace by using a lot of fade-ins and fade-outs to transition from different scenes. And it still has that western look where there are a lot of gorgeous wide shots for our characters in beautiful landscapes. And even though there aren't a ton of shootouts, when there are, they're gritty and completely uncompromising when it comes to violent nature. And they even hold on certain shots just to make the violent nature sink in a lot more. Sometimes there's a little too much quick editing where you can't tell who's shooting where, but at the same time, it also makes the scene feel a little more energetic and chaotic when we do actually know who gets hit. Now, our three main leads, Christian Bale, Rosamund Pike, and Wes Studi, all have an equal amount of weight and depth to their performances. And what made them interesting was that their views on race were all motivated by the losses that they've had in their lives. Rosamund Pike stood out most of all to me because we actually see every phase of her tragedy. We see what happened when she lost her loved ones and how unstable she was before Bale and the others came across her, and that was what made me connect with her the most. And what impressed me about this movie the most was that every character, regardless of their ethnicity, they were guilty of some form of racism or brutal violence. No group was better than the other. Even the chief walks up to Christian Bale at one point and says, "I think Comanches are the worst. They have no mercy or remorse whatsoever." And I was surprised by the fact that this movie would take a chance like that. It almost seems unheard of for a Native American to be racist towards another group of Native Americans, but at the same time, this movie reminds us that things like that are completely possible. And the other important thing about these characters was that they were willing to work with each other in the most dire situations. Even when they're in chains, the chief's family are willing to risk themselves to gang up on enemy tribes and strangle them with their own shackles. And it shows that all these characters have one thing in common. They will do anything in order to survive, and anything includes working with each other. Now, as much as I give this movie credit for taking its time with the story, I do think that it could have been like 20 minutes shorter. And I get the feeling what dragged on for me were the occasional subplots about these side characters who join Christian Bale on their journey, and they're just not interesting characters, and that's a real shame because you had good actors like Jesse Plemons, Timothée Chalamet, and Ben Foster, among others, but they're given almost nothing to work with. All they do are giving monologues about their past actions that some of them I've honestly forgotten about because they don't hold the same weight as Christian Bale's arc, or Rosamund Pike, or Wes Studi. And there's this one actor, Rory Cochrane, who's given a lot of screen time, and he just felt awkward every time. His arc, I guess, was about how war has made him a weary and unstable person, and I guess you're supposed to tell about that because he pauses for like 5 seconds every time he finishes a sentence. For like no reason whatsoever, and William Shatner doesn't make as much pauses as this guy. It's ridiculous. The acting, direction, and intelligent themes about racism and violence make Hostiles a good movie. But if you were to either develop the side characters or just write some of them out completely, you would have had a great movie. And for that reason, I'm going to give Hostiles a 3.5 out of 5. Guys, thanks as always for watching, and if you've seen Hostiles, what did you think about it? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews at noperfectmovie.com. And once again, thank you all very much for watching. Take care.